Right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So we started the ayah from ayah number 4 to ayah number 5. So let's continue, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So we were talking about, yesterday we talked about kitab, we talked about mubin, right? Something, a kitab that is clear and it clarifies. That Allah also says that this is the kitab that is revealed, the Quran revealed in the Arabic language, so you may understand. So the purpose of choosing Arabic language is because it makes you think about the ayat, it makes you understand the ayat in the best way possible. And Allah says that we are relating to you the best of stories. I gave you 3 meanings of that, which is we are relating to you the best of all the stories, right? Take all the stories, the best of stories, we are relating the Quranic stories are the best of all because Allah has handpicked a few to guide humanity. Also, Allah has chosen the best of the story. Everyone has a story, but Allah says this part of this person's life is important for your guidance. This part of this person's life is important for your guidance. So He chose the best of everyone's story, or whichever stories He picked. And lastly, the way He tells is the best of it, right? So this is all from yesterday. We also talked about the fact that this is the first time the Prophet ﷺ is introduced to Yusuf ﷺ, right? He doesn't know about Yusuf ﷺ before this. Because Allah says, "In kunta min qablihi lamil ghafilin." So now, before I start the ayah for today, I want to reread the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this Quran needs to be reflected. This Quran needs to be pondered over, right? Tadabbur needs to happen, right? So if humanity existed for so many years and Allah's only chosen a few pages of the Quran to keep for His final guidance, that means every single word, every single thing that happens is important. Nothing is there just for fun. Nothing is just for entertainment. Everything here is for guidance, for us to guide. So that's why we're going to be focusing on just one ayah for 1 hour, basically, right? Just going in deep and see the guidance for us in there. So the word tadabbur comes from dubur. Anyone know what dubur means? Dubur. The word dubur actually comes in the surah. If the shirt is ripped from the qubul, is the front, dubur is the back. Okay? So tadabbur comes from the word dubur, back, behind. So when you look at a wall, tadabbur would be what is behind this wall? Like what mechanism went into this? Right? What was the thing that made this, right? If you see a car, what was the mechanism? What reflecting into it, seeing behind things, right? If you see a sign that says, okay, restaurant here, like how does that look like? Look forward, think about it, right? If this is garden this way, how does a garden look like, right? Ponder, go deeper, right? Reflect. That's what tadabbur is. Every ayah, Allah wants us to reflect over tadabbur. What are the hidden meanings in this, right? How this can be a guidance for me, that I can reflect upon, right? And so one of the things that Allah warns us about in Surah Furqan, right? A strong warning Allah gives is وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ لَمْ يَخِرُّوا عَلَيْهَا صُمًّا وَعْمِيَانًا. The believers or those people, when they hear the ayat of Allah, they don't just trip over the ayat deaf and blind. Rather, they think about what does this ayah mean? Pause, reflect, and move on, right? صُمًّا وَعْمِيَانًا. We should not be deaf and blind. Rather, we take our time looking at each word, each ayah, give its right, inshallah. So that's a goal. So if qala Yusuf, we started the story a little bit yesterday. We said that Yusuf alayhi salam is the one initiating the conversation. When he said to his father, subhanAllah, that he's initiating the private most things that has happened in his life, he's sharing with his father. Everything that he's not, sure about, he's sharing with his father. And that's why we see a beautiful relationship between the father and the son, how comfortable the son is with the parent, and what type of relationship a parent needs to have with the children, that they are ready to share everything with them and not feel any sort of a pushback. So he's used the word abati. What does the word abati mean? Was it beloved father and love and one more? It's another word. Love, care, respect. Very good. Abati includes love and respect, right? So love and respect. SubhanAllah, that, oh my beloved father, I love you and I have a lot of respect for you. And he narrates a dream. What is the dream? Inni ra'aytu ahada ashra kawkaban. Indeed, no doubt, I saw 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I really saw them doing prostration, doing sajda to me. Two things to note here. The dream is strange. What's strange about the dream? Okay, what else is strange? So the sun, moon, these are celestial objects. How are they prostrating? That's strange. What else is strange? There's no mention of standing. He's not. He just saw them. Okay. What else is strange? Well, the strange thing is also star, the sun, and the moon all together, right? When you see the sun, you don't see the stars, right? So if you are saying that, okay, he saw an actual vision of the night sky and then the sun is also there, he should say, I saw stars and sun, a star and moon, and then the sun, right? Star and moon be close together and then the sun. But it says stars, sun, and the moon. So it's not, this is not a celestial object that he's seeing. We know that clearly. We see that a lot of his being given here as we move along. So the strange thing is that all these things are coming together. The sequence is also, not the right way that we would see it. And how is he able to count 11 stars in the dream? Because you see, I saw stars, right? 11 stars equate 11 brothers. So that all he tells us that he already knows who this is being talked about. Okay, he knows about this, yeah.
And when the brother Yaqub Islam, I friend of him as a king.
Yeah.
Is the mother there too?
Yeah. Mother is there too, but mother is not talked about.
Okay.
The relation father and son mainly. Yeah, okay. So you already know. So 11 stars represent 11 brothers. The sun and the moon represents the mother and the father, right? So it doesn't matter if the moon is the mother or the sun is the mother or the moon is the father, the sun does not matter, but they are the parental figure. Okay. Now the thing to also talk about is why did Allah choose the star, sun, and the moon? Why not something else? In this surah, we know that symbolism plays a big role. Like fat cows, thin cow, that symbolizes something, right? Green leaves and dried stalks, that symbolizes everything is symbolism. Why did Allah kind of choose stars, sun, and moon? It could be like 11 trees doing sajda to me, right? Or something like that. Why these things? So the scholars actually dig into this and say like some of the benefits of that. So one is stars are the brothers. So what is the purpose of stars, right? Stars are a means of beauty. In the night sky, the beautiful thing in the night sky, it's stars. So the brothers, siblings add beauty in our life, right? There's so sense of beauty to us. Also, stars are a means of guidance, right? In times when you're going to be confused, it's going to be your siblings that you can rely on, your brothers and sisters who could be a means of guidance for you in this dunya, right? So that's what Allah says, stars for them. But stars are not really fundamental to your existence, right? They're important, they add beauty to it, but not fundamental. What is fundamental is in fact sun and the moon, right? So those are the parents. Parents are like the sun and the moon, they are fundamental to our survival. Without sun and the moon, we cannot survive, right? SubhanAllah. If you think about it, sun and the moon, they're both linked with our worship, right? Our worship is linked with the sun and the moon. So if you have to do your salah, you have to look at the time. The time is linked directly with the sun, right? And you have to know which month it is. Is it the first day of Ramadan, last day of Ramadan? You have to see the moon. That's a calendar. So you have to work. Anytime you worship, you look for two things, the calendar and the clock. You check the calendar, you check the clock. Both of them is sun and the moon. The importance important for our worship. Our connection with Allah is not possible without the sun and the moon. They help us to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, our worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is impossible without our parents, right? The sun and the moon you cannot really truly worship Allah unless you have ihsan to your parents, unless you give them importance, unless you love them, unless you respect them. That's fundamental to our survival. Without them, we don't exist, right? This is so beautiful. Another thing that scholars bring up is the fact that the earth moves around the sun, revolves around the sun, and the moon revolves around the earth, right? So there's one where we go after the parent, and another time where the parent is going around us. So I give the example of when we are young, we want parents' attention constantly, right? We are revolving around the parents, always wanting their, when we get older and older, it's the parents who need us. It's the parents who need, are dependent or asking for us, and they are revolving around us, right? So it's a beautiful thing shown, through this symbolism, what that really means. So anyway, so we know that he knows that they are his 11 brothers, son, the mother and the father doing sajda to him. So what's beautiful here like I kind of hinted to this yesterday when I bring this up again, the fact that when we talk about history, we always read the things that have the greatest achievement. Okay, how many lands were conquered? How many soldiers died? Or what was how many people in the army? How many tanks were there? We look at big things. We don't think these small things are, very important or relevant to history. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He has chosen this dream, a child sharing a dream with the father, to Allah that was important. To Allah that was something really, really important for guidance, that He decides to put that in the Quran. Right? What that shows is that every conversation a parent has with the children is valuable to Allah. Every time we speak to a child, right, mother, whoever it is, it's valuable. Every single thing. And Allah is listening to the kids also. That every time the kids say, if qala Yusuf li abihi, a little boy saying to his father, Allah is recording that. Right? Don't take the kids just for granted, or they're just saying something. No, for them, Allah gives a lot of value to them because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listened to them and recorded that conversation and brings it years later in the Quran for us. Right? So similarly, you and me need to be good listeners for our kids. Right? Our conversation with kids, don't take them lightly. What the thing you say can make or break their life. Right? And so those are some of the thoughts that came in this ayah. So inni ra'aytu, so I saw 11 stars, sun, and the moon. Ra'aytuhum. Okay, so now one thing to note here, he says inni ra'aytu. You could say ra'aytu, right? I saw. But inni ra'aytu, inna is used for izalatu shak. Inna, anytime you use inna, like inna alhamdulillah, you remove the doubt. There's no doubt. So he says, no doubt, Baba, believe me, I really did see this. So you can see the child is little concerned. Okay, what is the concern here? The concern, he's kind of worried also what the dad would think about it. You know why? Because this dream is about him being superior and people doing sajda to him. Right? It's like, dad is doing sajda to me. Dad, I saw you doing sajda to me. Like, imagine saying that to your dad. Kabbalah, you get lost, like you're nobody. So he's kind of worried. So he's, no, dad, I really saw this. Inni ra'aytu. Believe me. Right? So he's worried also, like, what is, and so the unusual thing is also there's other things that are kind of confusing to him, the worrisome to him, right? Because the star, sun, and the moon are distant from us, right? So he's seeing a dream, he's a star, sun, and the moon. He's also understanding that my brothers and my parents are going to be away from me. There's some distance between me and them. Stars, that's why I know the reason for using that, stars, sun, and the moon. They're going to be distant from me. And then something will happen that will make them come to me, but when they come to me, they'll be doing sajda. They'll be overpowered, they will be submitting to me, right? So falling in sajda to me. So like all of these concerns, why are they going away from me? And what is bringing them back? And why am I in this position, right? So he's kind of expressing that, as he's saying this. So inni ra'aytu, indeed, no doubt, I really saw this, right? And I don't mean to be disrespectful to you, Dad. I don't want to mean to be arrogant. That's when he begins with abati, oh my beloved, respected dad. No doubt, really, really, I saw this. Okay. So what did he say? Also, another thing to take away from this is that it's very difficult to talk about difficult conversations with people who are close to us. Right? Very easy to talk about something to the outsiders, but it's very difficult to talk about, but something too close to us is not easy. Right? But this son takes that step and says, no, this dream I have to share. Like, I need to know what this is. I know it's as bad as it sounds, as bad as it sounds, as arrogant as it sounds, but I have to share that these, stars, sun, and the moon are doing sujood to me. And then he says, then he goes on, he says, ra'aytuhum. You see, ra'aytuhum is repeated twice here. So, inni ra'aytu, indeed, no doubt I saw, sun, there's 11 stars, sun, and the moon. I really saw, again, he's repeating it. Okay? I really saw this. So why is it ra'aytu repeated twice? The reason for repetition is that the really strange part is the next part. The really strange part is the sajda part. That's why he repeats it. Like, you know what? I really saw this. Like, in this, you have to believe me. And what did he say? Li sajidin, I saw these stars doing sujood to me. So the word sajidin, a little bit of grammar here. Sajidina, like muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina, sajiduna, sajidina, sajidina. These are human plurals. When you see ina, it's always used for human beings. Kafirin, mu'minin, munafiqin, in, right? It's all for people, right? Muslimin, right? In. Sajidin is not for inanimate objects. It's for human beings, animate objects. So that sajidin also tells us that he knows that this is about, this is about their brothers, his brothers, sisters, brother, son, the sun and the moon refers to the parents. Also the whom, whom, I saw them, not ha. Ha is for, feminine, singular feminine, inanimate. So, and then sajidin is not it should be sajidin ali. I saw them doing sujood to me. Sajidin ali is the expected form. But li, sajidin, because the li is highlighted, because as he's sharing the dream with his father, he's saying, they're doing sajda to me? Of all the people, me? Why am I the center of attention? What did I do? Why am I? Like he's not happy with the fact that he is put in that position. He's not accepting that, right? Why they're doing sajda to me, right? So just a side point here about sajda, okay? There's a difference of opinion as to what does sajda mean, right? We know that sajda only needs to be done to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Everything in the heavens and the earth does sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? We know that Allah says, لَا تَسْجُدُ لِلشَّمْسِ. Don't do sajda to the shams. Don't do sajda to the qamar. وَاسْجُدُ لِلَّهِ. Do sajda to Allah only. So now, what is this sajda about? People say that this is a sajda of honoring somebody, right? And it existed before Islam, but after that it was removed. But if you study sajda in the Quran, generally speaking, when you study sajda, you will see that sajda is happening because somebody is amazed with Allah's miracle, and they just go into sajda. They don't do sajda to that person, rather they do sajda to Allah because of this miracle that they just saw. Okay, the lam there, li is for illa. Okay, sajidina li, because of me, they're doing sajda, but to Allah, not two. Lam doesn't mean two there. Lam is for illa. So, for example, the magicians fell into sajda. As soon as they fell into sajda, what did they say? Qalu amanna bi Rabbil Alameen. We believe in the Lord of the universe. So the sajda is not to Musa alayhi salam or Harun alayhi salam. Sajda is to Allah, but they're amazed by this miracle that happened. Right? So look at angels doing sajda to Adam. They're not doing sajda to Adam, they're doing sajda to Allah, of course, but they're amazed by the creation of Adam alayhi salam. How amazing is the creation of Adam alayhi salam, that they are blown away by this creation, that they do sajda in amazement. Right? So sajda, in fact, now Yusuf alayhi salam is from the millah of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Right? Ibrahim, then his son Ishaq, then his son Yaqub, then his son Yusuf. So Yusuf alayhi salam had the same teachings as Ibrahim alayhi salam. Of course, and Ibrahim alayhi salam is known for what? He was known for building the Kaaba. And he says, build the Kaaba and make the Kaaba a place of ruku' and sujood to Allah. So he is teaching that to his son. Yusuf alayhi salam knows the sajda is going to be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they will do it because of Yusuf alayhi salam, because of what Allah showed them through Yusuf alayhi salam. Okay, just want to put that up there, So let's move on, inshallah. Ayah number 5. قال يا بني. Now this is the dad's response. Father, the son is worried, okay, that why am I doing sajda? What is happening? I'm not happy with this. There's a lot of concern. He's worried. He comes and shares to his parents. First thing, go-to person is his dad, and he shares everything with his dad. Now the dad is going to respond. There are 2 statements the dad is going to give. Today, inshallah, we'll just cover one statement, just one ayah, which is ayah number 5. He says, Ya bunayya, la taqsus ru'yaka ala ikhwatika, fayakidu laka kaydan, inna shaytana lil insani aduwwum mubin. Okay, please can move to the next slide. Oh, okay. I can just tell him this. Okay. So if you can switch the ayah to the next slide. Okay, so I'll just talk about it, inshallah. You can follow along. So first thing he says, so just a rough translation of this ayah. He says, oh, my beloved son, my respected son, do not tell ru'yaka, do not tell your dream to your brothers, because they will plot against you. They will plot for you, they will plot against you. Indeed, shaitan is an open, clear enemy to the human beings. So, first, the father addresses the son. What is the first thing he says? Ya Bunayya. Oh, my beloved son. Beloved is very Shakespearean. You can use any sort of words to show love, right? Anything, mere bete, chote bete or something, I love you, come here. He's speaking to the son with love, addressing, calling the son with love. And that's something to take note of, right? Bunay includes two things. Bunay, you could say, Ya Yabni. Yabni means, oh my son. Ya Bunay, Bunay is an ism tasghir, it's like a small of something. Like Junaid is part of Bunay, right? Something small, right? Suhail, right? It's like that. Nuhair, all that. Nughayr, all that. It's a smaller pattern. Bunay is a little son out of love. There are two things involved in Bunay. One is love and respect. Love and respect are both involved in Bunay. So, in the previous ayah, the son showed respect and love to the father. In this ayah, Allah is saying, when the parent is talking to the child, he's still showing love and respect. You have to say it. In a lot of cultures, their parents don't have the habit of saying that I love you. They don't say it, right? No, I want them to have, want them to be tough, want them not to have these types of emotions, make them feel weak. No. If that was it, then Allah would not have revealed this in His final revelation, right? You have to express your love to your children, right? Say it. Show that you love them. Show and also respect at the same time, right? Love could be there, but no, respect is not there sometimes, So when we give, subhanAllah, when we call the kids, sometimes we just, call them by their name. And the way you call the name is also different, right? They could say, you could call it in a way like, that's very harsh. Junaid, Junaid, Junaid. You see? All of that means different things. When somebody calls you like that, what's the next thing? What's coming, whatever is coming is bad, right? But if they call you with a nickname, a loving nickname that you are, that you feel happy about, no matter what the instruction is after, it does not matter. Because you cushion the instruction with love. You begin with love, right? And I'm sure they teach you this in school, they teach you this in workplaces, right? They teach the sandwich method, right? You start with something good, and then whatever criticism or constructive criticism you have to give, do that, and then appreciate them again. I really liked your presentation, but you know what? Just you could be a little louder when you speak, but that point over there, oh, it's amazing. Like you did the good, bad, good, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us that when you are speaking to your children, you still need to use the word like please, thank you, right? All of this is part of respect. We feel that respect and love should only be to the people outside, to the outsiders. Nope, right? It comes from the family, right? We have to have the same courtesy that we have outside as inside, right? That's what the Prophet says, that khairukum li ahlihi. The best of you are the ones who are the best to his family. The best of you are the ones who are the best to his family. So if you're showing love and respect to people outside, then how much love and respect you have to show to people inside. So the way he addresses, beautiful, Ya Bunayya, right? Oh, my beloved son. Now when the father begins like that, my beloved son, isn't that comforting to the child? I love you, come here, I love you, and I know what you're going to, let me tell you. Before he gives instruction, look at it. All of that framing is already done. In communication, they teach this, that when you are saying something, you frame first. Please understand that this is coming from position of love. I really care about you. I love you. Do this. You see that? You frame it, and then if you speak without a frame, then it's going to come out very rude and maybe misinterpreted. So the father is speaking subhanAllah and puts a child at ease. He's putting, almost you can imagine, he's putting his hand in the shoulder of Yusuf alayhi salam. Oh, my beloved son, right? So all that worry is already gone. He's worried about the dream. What was the dream about? Oh my God, all of that is gone, right? SubhanAllah. Before I continue, I want to add one more thing about, one more point on this here. Ya Bunay, oh my son, oh my, whatever you want to call it in your own language. Who is here? Who is in this conversation? How many people are in this conversation? Only two, right? Yaqub and Yusuf. When do you call somebody? Ya is used when? It's called harf nida. When do you call? When do you use this? Hey, you, pay attention. And then you call. That's what ya means. Ya is to get someone's attention. When do you do that? In a big gathering. Or maybe the person is not listening to you. Maybe the person is down or something in the downstairs and you're upstairs. You're calling Junaid. You're calling because that means ya, somebody, right? You're calling with the name. You're calling. But the son is right there. It's not, you don't have to mention. And by the way, somebody who's right next to you, talking face to face, do you mention their name? No. Don't say this name to your brother. You could start like that. But he mentions that again, Ya Bunay. He mentions his name again. You see that closeness and love, father and son relationship? Amazing. One-on-one relationship, but still that same type of a, back and forth, subhanAllah. So have nicknames, loving nicknames for your children. Now, he moves on, he says, Ya Bunay, oh my beloved son, right? On that same note of, people thinking that I should not call my children with loving names or don't express my love, we think that that is a way to go about. Okay, if I show too much love, they might not be on the right track. They might have too much love and they might get spoiled. But you see, this child and father is the best example for us in the Quran. The son and father relationship. And because of this beautiful love and beautiful relationship, Yusuf alayhi salam is one day going to go through a lot of difficulties. He's going to be thrown in the prison. He's going to be tested in the palace. He's going to go through the scandal issue. He's going to be tested with power. He's going to be tested with greed. In all of these, he's not going to break down. He's not going to have a psychological, breakdown that, oh my God, I'm unable to get, no. None of that happened. He's strong enough to take all of that, right? To the point that this son is going to save a generation from starvation, right? Because he will interpret the dream and he's going to be saving thousands and thousands of people from starvation. Why? Because the foundation was good. It all began from this seed. The father and son relationship is that, subhanAllah, beautiful relationship that's going to help him, have a strong life, right? So that, very important that we need to validate our children, right? Give them importance, talk to them, right? Address them. What happens sometimes kids grow up, it's like, they just burst out. When have you ever cared for me? When did you even love me? When did you even give me a hug? Father, like, what? What hug are you talking about? That's your mom's job. That's not my job, right? I've done so much to you, but you never expressed it. You see, it's very important to say it out, right? Validate your children, because if that thing is split, if that thing is gone, then you're losing a generation of khair that's coming, forward. Anyways, now move on to the next word, la taqsus. Do not. Now comes instruction. Okay, frame it and instructions. By the way, the translation says what? He said, my son, do not recount your dream. What part did we skip? The my son part. Totally, we didn't even pay attention to the my son part. My son, do not recount your dream to your brothers. Basically, the ayah is saying, don't tell your brothers. Right? Isn't that what we get it? But it's so much hidden in the word Yabunait. Just the son part. Oh, my beloved son. It's a whole lot of things in there for guidance for us. La taqsus. Now comes the instruction. Do not tell, do not inform your brothers about this. La taqsus. Does that remind you of anything? Qasas. Ahsan al-qasas. What is qassa? Qissa. Story. Remember that? Right? Ustura and then qasas also gave to follow somebody step by step. Do not inform about the story to your brothers. Father is telling the son, do not tell this to your own brothers, right? And later on, Allah will choose. Basically, Allah is choosing when to say the story, who to say the story, how to say the story. At that point, the father is saying, don't say it, it's not the right time. They will come to see it. And Allah also did not reveal anything about what's happening. Allah waited, and Allah, subhanAllah, you and me are blessed. And we get to see the qasas, ahsan al-qasas. Allah is relating the qasas when the brothers themselves could not see the story, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is, choosing. Allah will choose when to say what to say. And the father is giving advice to the son, and he's also teaching us, you need to choose when to say, what to say, who to say. Sometimes within your own families, it may not be the right idea to share some things of your secret. Sometimes it may not be the right idea because they might spoil that, they might spread it, they might misinterpret it, they might not be ready for it. Sometimes you need to keep information to yourself. Sometimes it is not the right thing to do, right? Even though they might be your own brothers, your own family members, you gotta keep it. So now, the dream was 11 stars, sun, and the moon. And then the advice of the father is, don't tell this to your brothers. What does that show? They clearly understand the dream was about the brothers itself, right? Don't tell his brothers, 11 brothers, obviously he's referring to. So both Yusuf and Yaqub alayhi salam are both prophets. They both understood what this dream meant, right? So they're able to talk and they said, don't tell this to your brothers. Now the question comes, why not tell the brothers? Why not tell the dream to the brothers? Okay, I mentioned this earlier. Sajda signifies what? If somebody is doing sajda to you, sajda means somebody is overpowered. One person is defeated, the other one is victorious. Right? They're doing sajda. So that means they are going to be, it shows that there was a conflict. There's going to be a conflict between you and your brothers, and they are going to be overpowered. That's what sajda means. So, and he doesn't say anything about the mother though. Right? You notice that the conflict is going to be between the brothers. You and your don't tell this to your brothers. It doesn't say don't tell this to your brothers and your mother. Because a mother and father are not the conflict here, not the problem here. But here, the brothers are the problem. You got to keep this to yourself. You got to keep this to yourself. Do not say this dream. Now, why not say the dream? What is happening, right? So when we get to the ikhwati part, I'll explain that exactly why the father said not to say this dream to the brothers, inshallah. So now he says, ru'yaka. Ru'yaka means your dream, right? Your dream. Do not say your dream to your brothers, as opposed to saying, do not say this dream to your brothers. Why your dream, not this dream? Your dream signifies that this dream somehow puts you in a different position, puts you in a position that they cannot be. Okay? What is this position? This is the position of prophethood. You are going to become a prophet. You are going to become someone great, right? And you know, Yaqub alayhi salam, he's a prophet. Ishaq alayhi salam is a prophet. His grandfather, Ibrahim alayhi salam, is a prophet. And they know that prophethood continues in the children of Ibrahim alayhi salam. It continues. Now, if the brothers come to know that prophethood is going to be given to Yusuf alayhi salam, what's going to happen? Of all of us, he is chosen to be the prophet. Jealousy will increase even further. That's like injecting steroids into the jealousy. That will, develop more and more and more, right? So he's saying, do not say this dream of yours, because you have been chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to become the prophet. Also, contrast this with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam living in Medina and the Bani Israel, right? The Bani Israel also had prophethood. They were expecting that they should become they should have the prophethood. But then instead the Prophet ﷺ becomes a prophet from a different lineage. Now what did they say? What happens? Basically, if you look at the context of this, they come to Prophet ﷺ and they say, they're trying to ask a question which is going to be like, a way to trip the Prophet ﷺ, right? Like the gotcha moment, right? Gotcha question. So they're like, oh, if you're truly a prophet, can you prove to us how Bani Israel moved from Palestine to Egypt? This is a gotcha question. You will not know this 100%. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then reveals, this entire surah. Let me tell you how they migrated from Palestine to Egypt. So the entire story is narrated. But then in that, he says, by the way, when Yusuf became prophet, his brothers did not like very much. His brothers did not like his prophethood too much. And then who is it pointing to now? Bani Israel. Wait, Bani Israel, aren't you guys like that too? Right? Even you guys don't like your brother, Prophet ﷺ, having prophethood. So basically the gotcha was on them back. Right? Gotcha, right? You are the ones who don't like prophethood, in fact. So the brother is not liking, the one brother getting, one position above the other is something that Israel did not like, and Allah is mentioning that here. So now, ala ikhwatika, do not say this to your brothers. So now the father, how does the father know that there's some tension happening between the brothers, right? The father is observing. The father is very observant. He's observing the way they talk to each other and the way they talk to Yusuf alayhi salam. The father is observing the way they pass the food to Yusuf as-salam on the dinner table. The father is observing the way how they push and say like sorry, right? The tone when they say Yusuf, the tone actually tells a lot about, they don't have to say it, but the father can see it, right? From all of these things. The father is very observant. He's very involved in the children's life, right? He knows what's going on, right? And in every family you might have this, right? Some children are really good, some children are not so good. But what good and bad means that some children don't need tough love, they need soft love. Some children, they need tough love, right? Some children you say, you should not do this, they will listen to you. You don't need to be harsh with them or they will do it. They get an A plus in the test, you're gonna obviously treat them with some ice cream or something. And the ones who failed, who said that, I was doing the homework all this time and doesn't do it, they're not gonna be like, fine, you take the ice cream too. You take the pizza too. No, you gotta show some tough love. No more ice cream, no more video games, cut everything. You gotta show some tough love. So what happens is when you show soft corner to one person, because they deserve it, of course, and you show tough love to the other brother, what happens is the brothers who get tough love, they become jealous of the other brother. It's natural, right? Oh, you obviously like Yusuf, you clearly don't like me, right? Look the way you talk to me. You will never say this to Yusuf. Haha, look at you. I know you like him the most. This happens. Well, they deserve it. What do you want me to say? If they give you a glass of water, slap the glass of water and say, next time bring it quicker, like tough love to that person. Oh, he's doing good. Like you only have to appreciate soft love. So this is gonna happen. This is norm. But what happens is just jealousy creeps in. Okay, the jealousy creeps in, and that's what the Yaqub alayhi salam is saying here. Don't say this to your brothers because they don't like you. And the last piece of advice is very powerful. Well, wait till we get there, inshallah. You might have some questions, so wait till we get there, inshallah. And so he says, don't say this to your brothers. Now, Yusuf alayhi salam is missing out on something big here. What is that? The companionship of a brother or brothers, older brothers. Older brothers are a blessing to have, isn't it? Those of you who have older brothers, right? What a blessing. They can be a role model. In a lot of sense, you look up to them, right? You want to be like them. You want to drive like they drive. You want to, do things like they do, right? A lot of times, they could also play a parental figure. They could be a parental figure in the parent's absence. They could take the role of a parent, and maybe also he's younger than your parents, so it's easy to convince the older brother to do something, and the older brother can talk to them, parents to let you do things. So it's a lot of good things that he's missing out on. Obviously, it's a test. We can't do anything, but this is how we'll get to the family structure, inshallah, and why this happens and what we should do about it. But subhanAllah, Yusuf is missing out on a lot of things. Also, if you notice that younger brothers always want to wear the dress of the older brother, right? They want to share, they want to take their hoodie, right? When the older brother is not there, you want to take his stuff, you want to wear what he's wearing, you want to do what he's doing, or make friends with his friends because they look up to them. And older brothers get annoyed, like, why does he keep taking my stuff? But there's actually, subhanAllah, they are looking up to you. They're taking you as a role model, that they want to be like you. And so, subhanAllah, Yusuf Islam is, missing out on that. Anyways, now, la taqsus ru'yak. Don't tell this to your brother. It's also beautiful here is that sometimes you have to have the difficult conversations within the family. It might be tough, but you have to have it. The kids need to know who they should be careful about in the family. Whoever it is, in the extended family, within the family, who they should. Why? It's going to save them, protect themselves. The parent have to warn them. Okay, this uncle of yours is a nice person, but he has, be careful with this. Okay, your aunt, this. You have to tell them if they are, because there's a lot of research on how people are abused today. A lot of kids are abused by their family itself, right? They had so much hope and love on somebody, and then they basically abuse them. They're very harsh to them, and their entire life breaks up, right? It's very important that the father is saying, do not share this. It's going to cause you more problem than any benefit. And also what we see from this is that sometimes a younger brother can be more righteous than the older brother, right? Yusuf alayhi salam, obedient, following, self-love, but the older brothers, not so much, right? So the obedience or righteousness is not linked with age. You can't say, I'm the older brother, of course I'm going to be right all the time. No, sometimes the younger people, younger siblings can have, better wisdom. Like same thing with Dawood and Sulaiman alayhi salam. Dawood alayhi salam was a prophet, he's a father, and his son Sulaiman alayhi salam, Allah says, فَفَهَمْنَاهَا Sulaiman. We gave Sulaiman a special type of understanding that the father did not have. And he used to basically judge in cases, and Sulaiman alayhi salam's opinion will be better than Dawood alayhi salam's opinion. And Allah gives that to whomever He wishes. It should not be like, oh, who are you? You're lower than me, telling me what is right and wrong. No, right and wrong is not linked to age. It's independent. Okay. Now, this we're talking about right now, all this jealousy thing, all this harmful thing, is all about a family which had generations of prophets. Okay, it's a prophetic family we're talking about. Prophetic family having what issues? Issues of jealousy. Prophetic family. What that teaches us is that no family is immune. There is no such thing as a perfect family. And it's impossible to have that. Impossible. And we should not run after a perfect family. You will always find some person in the family who will be a test for you. Allah will bring that one person, either is a son or a daughter or an uncle or a parent, even for some people, whoever it is, or grandparent or grandson, will be a fitna for you, a test for you, right? It will be a test for you. And this is all, if you look at all the prophetic prophets' lives, right? The Prophet's own uncle was a problem for him, right? You look at Nuh alayhi salam, his own son was a problem for him. Lut alayhi salam, his wife was a problem for him, right? And so Asya radiallahu anha, the husband was a problem for him, for her, right? Fir'aun. So we'll have all these examples in the Quran of messed up families. And Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Furqan, وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً. We have made some of you as a test for others. أَتَصْبِرُونَ? The question Allah asks all of us is a rhetorical question. Are you going to be patient? Are you going to persevere? Or are you going to just cut the relationship, get lost? Cut, I'm done with you. No, are you going to persevere through it? The perseverance, sabr, is when sabr does not mean you sit quietly. Sabr is working against it. So if that person is a problem to you, is a test to you, you don't say, I'm just going to ignore this person. No, that's not sabr. Sabr is going against the stream, against whatever the wind is, right? Against the pressure. You go against it. That's sabr. That's just are you going to be patient? Right? There's a lot of things to learn from this. SubhanAllah. Brothers in the same family, prophetic family, father is a prophet, and then grandfather, great grandfather, all my prophets, subhanAllah, is having. And another thing to note here is that no matter how good your parenting is, sometimes you really can't control the outcome. No matter how good, can we say that Yaqub alayhi salam's parenting was messed up? No. Yeah, Bunay, look, just in one ayah we see how his parenting is. Do you think he was picking and choosing, that he was treating Yusuf as some different, as older brothers different? No, we cannot attribute such type of unfairness to a prophet. We can't say that. But subhanAllah, Yaqub alayhi salam, he does everything possible to do the right thing. Did that help? No, nothing. Precautions, you have to take the precautions, but the outcome it's up to them. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does things, and it is people who need to choose. There's nothing wrong with the parenting. He took the precaution. He says, don't say this to your brother. They're going to plot against you. Did they plot against him anyways? Yes. They're going to plot against him anyways, even though they don't know the dream. But on the flip side, you see Musa alayhi salam. Right? Musa alayhi salam. By the way, there's a lot of connection between Musa alayhi salam's story and Yusuf alayhi salam. Like, I can mention 100 points on how Yusuf alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam story is linked together. The word qasas is used in this surah, and there's only one surah named Qasas, which talks all about Musa alayhi salam. Anyways, one parallel I just want to share today between Yusuf alayhi salam's story and Musa alayhi salam's story is that in Yusuf alayhi salam's story, Yaqub alayhi salam is making all the effort. The parent is making all the effort to fix the child, right? To fix the children. The outcome is the opposite. Doesn't really help. But in the case of Musa alayhi salam, the mother makes all the effort, takes all the precaution, feeds the baby, puts the baby in the basket, guides the baby through, and that was successful, right? No problem, right? So the outcome in this case was not right. The outcome is not in our hands. We never are going to be questioned about the results. What your child became is never your question. It is on them. What you be questioned about, how was your parenting? How was your effort? We can't say Yaqub alayhi salam was a horrible parent because look at what his sons became. A lot of times people say this, right? Oh, that family messed up. Did you see what the son did from that family? Daughter did. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. They did that. That are horrible parents. Isn't that what we hear? Horrible parents. How could they say that? How could they do that? It's not linked together. The outcome does not mean bad parenting. Not at all. Right? Okay. So let's move on to the next part, inshallah. فَيَكِيدُ لَكَ كَيْدًا. Why should you not say it? Because if you do, then they are going to scheme against you. فَيَكِيدُ, kaid. What does the word kaid mean? Kada yakidu actually is used in Arabic language for somebody who's about to vomit, but he's holding his vomit back. Almost. That's or a person who's going through a woman who's going through her menses, but she's holding her blood, preventing it from coming out, right? Holding it, right? Or a fire that's just about to blow up, but just contained inside a container. So all of those words, all of these expressions mean something. That something harmful, something bad is brewing inside, and then at one point it comes out, it just bursts out. That's yakidu. That's kada yakidu. It's the scheme. So he's saying that the brothers, they are constantly having secret meetings. Okay? They're having secret, they're planning something, right? They're planning something. The dad knows this. The dad knows they're planning something. There's some plot going on because they don't include the dad in their conversation. We'll study that, going, next to it in the 2 ayat later, after 2 ayat, the brothers are saying, hey, what should we do with Yusuf? Father loves Yusuf. Yeah, I know, right? Father loves Yusuf. He doesn't like us. He hates us. And they don't include who? Father. Look at the contrast here. One son, he had a problem. Who did he come to? Father. As soon as he had a problem, Ya Abi, inni ra'aytu 11 kawkaban wa shams. He's sharing the dream. What's up with the other brothers? They are the traps of shaitan. They are plotting something. When you have a negative feeling about somebody, about anything, the best thing to do is speak it out. Say it, clarify it. Don't keep it inside yourself. If you keep it inside yourself, you know what? It keeps building, misunderstanding happens, and you have a confirmation bias. You think something, father loves Yusuf, yes. And something happens, yeah, see, that's another example of father loving. See, another example. That all just builds up. You build up your whole universe inside your brain. Any negative feeling you have about any sibling or anybody or any community member or friend, speak it out. So he says that they're going to plot because they don't include me anyways. And so they have chosen different paths, son. They are not, they don't have the same path as you. And now he says something powerful, very profound toward the end of this ayah. We'll conclude with this ayah, inshallah. And what did he say at the end? He says, Inna shaytana lil insani aduwwum mubin. Wow. Subhanallah. He's saying, oh my beloved son, don't say this to your brothers because they will plot against you. He gives all the reasonings, everything. But then he says, your brothers are not enemies though. The real enemy is shaitan. Shaitan is a clear enemy to you. This is the attack of shaitan. Do not attack the person, rather attack the one who's making this happen, that is shaitan. And that's very important for you and me to understand. Shaitan has different attacks on us. Shaitan sometimes will bring you the attack of jealousy. Sometimes will come you the attack of assumptions. Sometimes will come the attack of suspicions, or anger, or fear, or greed, or lust. So he can mislead you from the past. You got to recognize that. And you know why this is so beautiful? Because when people do wrong, you always give them a second chance. You always say, no, this is not them. I know that they can come back. They have ruh inside them that is beautiful, that wants to go to Allah. Is it that they have been in the traps of shaitan? I want to expose shaitan to them. They don't realize, because we don't see shaitan around us, right? Like you don't see anybody in the red hoodie with a long Italian beard or whatnot, like, oh, right? There's no shaitan around us. But shaitan is a clear open enemy. You got to recognize that. If you don't recognize it, you're gonna say, oh, this guy is messed up. No, it's not them, it's the shaitan, right? So here the father is telling Yusuf that you should not hate your brothers. They are brothers. These are relationships made by Allah's pattern. You're not allowed to cut a relationship that is made by Allah's pattern. That's haram to do at no point. You cannot cut your brother from another brother, no matter what happens in you two. Even if the brother becomes a non-Muslim, you cannot say, A'udhu Billah. No, even if the brother commits adultery, or even if the brother goes into drugs, or does a horrible thing possible, or even he's disobedient to the parents, you have to advise him, you have to let him expose to the traps of shaitan, but you can never cut relationship with him. Right? This is shaitan's doing, not anybody else. And look at shaitan though. Whatever shaitan went through, he will make human beings do that. Okay? You will see that when you study shaitan in the Quran, Iblis in the Quran, whatever Iblis went through, he will make you do the same thing. So what happened with Iblis? Iblis kept his ill feelings inside himself. He let that ill feelings brew inside him. So Allah made the announcement, I'm going to create a human being that's going to be Khalifa on the earth. Shaitan's immediate reaction in his heart is, why ya Allah? I am not enough to you. I worship you. I did all this hard work day and night. What do you find in me that you don't like? Am I not worthy? Why didn't you choose me? Why do you have to bring somebody else, a Khalifa? All this negative feeling is just coming in his mind, in his heart, and he does not say it. He does not share it. Angels, however, they don't really understand why you need a Khalifa. Why is he better? Ya Allah, show it to me. Angels ask, أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس قال إني أعلم. And then he does a whole demonstration to show why Adam is better. Because Adam has these qualities that no other human beings have. His patience and his power, his generosity, his ability to do the right thing, to do justice. All of these things he has, no other creation has. So angels are amazed, they understand. But Shaitan, however, he doesn't really understand it. He kept it himself inside, all of that. And then it burst. The scheme is happening inside and it burst. When Allah says, do sajda, he says, look, I'm not going to do sajda. He has this thing of keeping inside, negative feeling inside. He will make you do that too. When you have something, he will make whatever he went through, he will want you to go through as well. Right? So he will keep his negative. So subhanAllah, here you see that Shaitan, then Shaitan, what happens is Shaitan makes a claim to Allah. He says, Ya Allah, you think these human beings are, the best of creation? You think these are Khalifa on the earth? I will show to you who these people really are. Who human beings really are, I'll show to you. I'll put jealousy in them. I'll put hatred in them. I'll test them with lust. I'll do all sorts of, I'll put arrogance in them. You think I'm arrogant? Did you kick me out of Jannah? You kick me out of this? I will show how horrible these human beings are. And that's the attack of Shaitan. And this, the father is teaching the son, right from the get-go. You know what? Understand the trap of Shaitan. And as he's saying to the son, the father is also telling, you know what, son? Today, you might be tested with jealousy. Tomorrow, Shaitan's trap could be lust. And after that, it could be greed. After that, it could be power. It could be, arrogance. It could be forgetfulness. Shaitan will come at you with different attacks every single time. That's basically the entire life, right? You're going to be tested with lust next when it goes there. So all of these attacks is showing, subhanAllah, that this is a beautiful teaching, profound teaching of a father to his son, right from the get-go, right? SubhanAllah. And so Shaitan basically says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I am going to come to these human beings from the front, from the back, from the left, and from the right. I'm going to make sure they don't go on the right path. So the front, back, left, right, what does that mean? Each one of them signifies something. From the front means that I'm going to be a barrier to them on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. If you're going on a path, there's a blockage, what happens? You have to take a different path. So I'm going to make them take a different path. Every time you go on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, you go on the right track, some barrier will come to you, wants to take you away from that. No, this other work thing came up. I can't focus on the Quran right now because something else is more important. Something else is more important. He will keep Shaitan in the front, right? Or he will come from the back. Let's say you defeat him from the front. Yeah, I got you. Get lost, Shaitan. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And then he'll come from the back. So say, remember those good old days? You used to just relax. You used to go to parties, with your friends and just leave this Islam thing. And you had a, good income too. That haram, job you're doing. So he'll pull you from the back. Come back. So he will do that to that. You have to let's say you defeat that too. I'm not listening to you. I'm gonna keep moving forward, not listen to you, not make you, make you pull me back. He'll come from the left side. Right? Left side is what? Through sins, he will come. When you're doing sins, he will say, left signifies sins, right signifies good deeds. So he'll come through sins. How? He will say, you know what? This is not really that big deal. We're just missing two sunnahs. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's delaying thoughts for a little bit. It's okay, I mean, you have excuse. You have other things to do. It's okay. You can delay your fard. You know what? You can combine the salah too. You know what? You can just make the rak'ah shorter, like less Quran. You don't have to memorize the entire Quran. Just do like, one juz is good. You don't have to be in the class for one whole hour. Just half an hour, just 10 minutes. Just go join the last rak'ah. And you do, maybe you're drinking alcohol. It's not that bad. You're not killing anybody. You're not doing anything. That's okay. Let's go. Shaitan will come from the left. And shaitan will come from the right too. Right is the most dangerous. Through good deeds. Shaitan will come through good deeds. Shaitan will make you do good deeds. He will make you do all the good work, everything. And then you know what? After all those deeds, something will happen inside you. You will feel that you're better than others. You feel like, wow, I have achieved something greater. So I am better. I am made from fire, he's made from clay. Exactly what Shaitan did. Self-righteousness will happen. Arrogance will get left. He wants you to fall for that trap. That's the dangerous. Shaitan is constantly boom, 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 right, left, front, back. Whatever chance you get. But you know what? Ramadan, he's not there. Ramadan, you don't have the waswasa. This is the time to fortify our nafs, fortify our heart, and get that Quran inside us. If you have this tool with you, imagine what a power you have to defeat him. And that's Yaqub al-Islam, the father, teaching. Don't blame people. Every human being has a potential to become good. As bad as they may look, it's all Shaitan's plan. Shaitan wants to take the entire army of human beings into Jahannam. Don't fall for it. You should become the better one. Not be like that. So that he will learn that, right? He will forgive his brothers at the end. Because I know brothers, you fall into the trap. Now, I'll finish off, inshallah, with the last bit here. Aduwwum mubin, he says. Look at the ending. It says, Inna shaitan al-insani aduwwum mubin. Indeed, shaitan is a clear enemy to you. Open enemy to you. He's not hidden. It's not a conspiracy. Shaitan is open. Where else do we see the word mubin? Very good. Allah repeating the same words again. So if you understood mubin yesterday, alif lam ra, first ayah, right? Tilka ayatul kitab al-mubin. The book, the Quran, is a clear book, and it clarifies what it wants from us, what the objective is. It clarifies. The second time mubin is used is for shaitan. Well, what? Mubin is a description of the Quran. Mubin is also a description of shaitan. Adu mubin, how is that linked together? Right? What is the link here? The link is that Quran is clear in what it wants to convey. Right? Message is clear. And shaitan is also clear in what he wants to do. He's clear. I'm the enemy of insan. I'm open. Right? He's clear. And what his objectives are, it's clear. But it's just people forget about shaitan. That's a trap of shaitan. Forget about shaitan, and then we just fall into it. So he says shaitan is open and he's clear, and he knows what is happening. And you need to recognize that, right? And so I'll conclude, inshallah. That's pretty much I want to just share until here for today. Because if it's not the next ayah, I would need an entire almost an hour to complete. But what he says here, a few points to note here is that no family is perfect, right? No family is perfect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bring people in our life that's going to be a test for us. Accept the fact and see how you can, traverse through that. Down the road, his own sons will throw, or they say that he was killed, right? Yusuf was eaten by a wolf. His own sons will come and say this to the father. Father knows that he's not killed. But what is your reaction? Somebody hurt your sons. How bad do you feel? Oh my God, how dare they hurt my son? I cannot tolerate this. My son is gone because of them. I'm going to take revenge. I'm going to show them who they are. But then you know who they are? They're also your sons. Whoa. Son is doing the same thing to another son. What do you do with this? You cannot kill them. You cannot hurt them because they are sons. So, sabrun jameel, beautiful patience. Can't do anything about it. This is how life is going to be. And don't expect life to be perfect. This dunya is not supposed to be perfect. If there is no test, then there is no Jannah and Jahannam. Right? Reward and punishment only when there's test. If you don't have tests, then there's no reward, there's no graduation, there's no, promotion, nothing, right? And also one last thing is that a lot of us think that righteousness is inherited. A lot of us think that, okay, you belong to this family and you're going to have this type of akhlaq. Our father, our grandfather was from this. We had our lineage is so beautiful. How can you be like this? Is righteousness transferred from generation to generation in the blood? Is righteousness in the blood? No, that's not the case. That's not the case, right? Bani Israel, lineage of prophets. All prophets, a lot of the prophets came through Bani Israel. The blood of prophet is in there. But from there you have people like Qarun, who was a worshiping being. Right? SubhanAllah, like this. How does that make sense? Prophet ﷺ, best of human being. From his bloodline, you have people like Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, right? Ibrahim alayhi salam, Ismail alayhi salam, and then you have the entire blood. And from there is Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab. So, it's not that, we belong to this family, so everything about this family has to be perfect. Prophetic families were not perfect. They had problems, they had difficulties, and it's a matter of first having good relationship with each other. First, learn to respect and love each other. Want the best for each other, right? The father needs to play his role, and the sons need to play their role as well, and take the father as their hero, as a person they look up to, right? And parents should allow for that, right? That whatever they're going through, whatever problems, and never bring the problems of your times to the problems of this time. It's very important. And why we have the disconnect is because we don't do the things that the kids do today. Okay, I gave the example. If they're playing basketball, we'll play basketball with them. If they're into video games, play video games with them. If they're watching something, watch things with them. So they know, you build a bond together. And then you're able to steer them in the life, right? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us a tawfiq to, learn the beautiful, profound lessons in just these two ayats, the conversation between the father and the son. So the father is not done with his conversation. He will continue in the next part of the ayah. He's going to talk about what the role of Yusuf alayhi salam is and what he's going to become. That will continue inshallah from tomorrow. So we'll stop the class here, but if you have any questions, we can pick up inshallah. Okay, any questions? Right. So what I will share, one last thing inshallah I'll share with you guys, which I missed yesterday, and that was about the dream. Okay. It's just like a little bit nuanced, but it's interesting to know. So there are three dreams of prophets mentioned in the Quran. Okay. Let's see if you guys can tell me. The three dreams mentioned in the Quran about the prophets. What's the first dream where a prophet is having a dream? Who? No, dreams, actual dreams that happen in the Quran. The prophets are seeing dreams. There are three dreams in the Quran that the prophets see. So one dream is obviously Yusuf Islam's dream, right? So the prophet is seeing a dream. Okay, it's about star and then submission, all that. Okay, another dream. Another dream. You guys know this. It's linked with, all of them are linked with Hajj, by the way. So, Ibrahim Islam is seeing his son being slaughtered, right? He sees his son being slaughtered. Okay, and what was the third dream? Third dream is the Prophet sees a dream too. What was the dream of the Prophet? Yeah, he's going to Umrah. So shave his head, right? Slaughtering the animals and shaving his head, right? All three dreams, if you see, they're all linked together beautifully through Rasulullah. So the first dream about Ibrahim alayhi salam slaughtering his son, that is going to become a ritual, right? That's going to become a ritual of Hajj, where we are going to be slaughtering the animal, right? When you slaughter the animal, that shows that Mecca is conquered, right? Mecca is conquered, Mecca is liberated, and they're going to perform the Hajj, and they're going to be slaughtering the animal. Right? That's what that dream means. The other dream about Yusuf alayhi salam, he's going to be overpowered, okay? And what's going to happen is this, so he's going to be powerful, and the sons are going to submit to him, right? And what's so beautiful about that is that the Prophet ﷺ, just so you know, this surah, and I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but I reiterate that this surah was revealed in the year of sorrow, right? In the year of sorrow. The Prophet is very sad because Khadija radiallahu anha passed away, and Abu Lahab also, Abu Talib also passed away. So it's very sad at the passing of his two great supporters. And the Prophet ﷺ was concerned, his concern was what? What worried the Prophet ﷺ the most? Not just them passing away, that's not why it's called the year of sorrow. There's another reason why he was worried a lot. What was his greatest sadness? Where Allah says that you would kill yourself, Ya Rasulullah, because of what's happening. Day and night, the Prophet is making dua, and he's crying and crying for what? For his people. Very good, right? The Prophet is crying for his people. Day and night, he's crying, Ya Allah, I cannot see my people in Jahannam. I cannot see my people punished. Day and night, that's his cry. And you know what? If you study the Quran, most of the Quran talks about the story of Musa alayhi salam. And Musa alayhi salam and Prophet's mission is a lot in parallel, right? They go a lot in hand in hand. But what is the outcome of Musa alayhi salam's mission? What happens to the enemy? To Pharaoh? He's drowned. He's destroyed, right? And the Prophet is worried. Ya Allah, if my people continue to reject me, then what's going to happen? They're going to be destroyed like Pharaoh. I don't want that to happen. So he's really sad. He's more sad in this year because his supporters in Deen are gone. So his da'wah is going to become weaker and less chance for them to become Muslims. His sadness is that. That is not like, oh, I miss my beloved wife. The sadness is not that, oh, I miss my uncle. The sadness is who's going to convey the message? My strength has become weak. So understand, this is the concern the Prophet had. Will my ummah have the same ending like Pharaoh, like Fir'aun? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals this surah. Surah Yusuf. Asaf also means sadness, by the way. Yusuf comes from Asaf, sadness. Yusuf alayhi salam goes through a lot of sadness, goes through a lot of difficulties in his life. Okay? And he's also having a lot of conflict too. And the conflict is with his own brothers. The conflict with Yusuf's story is his own brothers. Right? And who is the brother of the Prophet? The Quraysh, or all his brothers. So the conflict is very similar. It's very similar to Yusuf alayhi salam. And what was the outcome of Yusuf alayhi salam's story? Did all the brothers die? Were they destroyed like Pharaoh? No. What happened to them? There was a peaceful resolution. It's a peaceful resolution. They're going to be reunited. They're going to submit to him. They're going to become true Muslims. They're not going to fall for the trap of shaitan. They're going to be true believers. So what that gave to the Prophet is comfort. Alhamdulillah. I have hope. If I continue like Yusuf alayhi salam, even though I'm going through a lot of difficulty right now, my own brothers have turned their back on me, right? My uncle is saying such horrible things to me, putting thorns or spreading rumors about me and all that. But you know what? I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep continuing, because if the brothers of Yusuf can reunite, then maybe my brothers can also become Muslims. So that is the calmness and comfort Allah gives the Prophet through the surah. Right? That don't worry, Rasulullah, you will have a good ending. So now, Yusuf alayhi salam, when the Prophet is going to conquer Mecca, right? I wanted to wait till the end, but inshallah we say it. When the Prophet conquers Mecca, right? What's happening in Mecca? Is he saying everyone should be killed because they killed so many Sahabas, they fought in so many battles? No. What is the Prophet saying? Everyone come towards the Kaaba. Everybody who is by the Kaaba is forgiven. Everybody who's in the house of Abu Sufyan is forgiven. So then he goes to the Kaaba and then he asks the people, all the Quraysh who've been fighting him for so many years, 20 years or so, they're fighting the Prophet ﷺ, right? Hurting him in every way possible. He asked them, what do you think I'll do to you today? He says, you are noble, son of a noble. And so he says, I'm going to tell you what Yusuf alayhi salam said to his brother. You see why he uses Yusuf alayhi salam? Same link here, right? He says, I'm going to tell you today what Yusuf alayhi salam told his brother. La tathriba alaykum al-yawm, yaghfirullah lakum. There's no blame upon you, Allah will forgive you. Right? SubhanAllah, he's saying that is like, the stars, sun, and the moon, sujood. doing sujood to Yusuf alayhi salam, is that's what's happening in Mecca, right? That all of these people are submitting to, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is accepting the apology. And the end is not like Pharaoh's ending, right? Peaceful resolution. And so the dream of Ibrahim alayhi salam, him slaughtering the animal, is about Hajj, conquest of Mecca. The sun, moon, and the stars doing sajda to him is also linking to Mecca, because the Prophet is going to be overpowered. His brothers will submit to him. And the beautiful connection to both of that is the final dream of the Prophet ﷺ, where he's going to see his head being shaved and slaughtering the animal. He's going to go to the Kaaba. So all those three dreams are connected. And one dream is from Ismail alayhi salam. Right? Ibrahim had two sons, Ismail and Ishaq. Ismail alayhi salam sees a dream. One dream is through Ismail alayhi salam. Another dream is through Ishaq alayhi salam, because Yusuf alayhi salam is from the lineage of Ishaq alayhi salam. So both these dreams about, Fath Mecca, liberation of Kaaba and all that, is connected, united by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the dream of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he is the one who unites both the lineage, the Arabs and the Bani Israel together in this, right? That was that dream. So I wanted to talk about this in the dream part, but inshallah, I'll just mention that now. Okay, so we'll conclude here. So if you don't have any questions, we'll leave for today, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. We'll do a small dua and finish. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون. سلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. إن شاء الله see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.